So, welcome to the Mellow Parenting Podcast, or as we affectionately call it, the Mellow Pod. My name is Rachel Tainch and I'm part of the Mellow team. And today I'm joined by Raquib Ibrahim, who joined Mellow in 2013 and in March 2023 became CEO. And Rack, it's been a busy year since you started as that later, but first, we always start asking our guests to remember someone from their childhood who was important to them. Rat, can you think of anyone who was important to you?
Hello, welcome and thank you for inviting me. That is an interesting question. It would probably require a little bit of consideration because I could think of a few people. But I would probably, in this case, I would say my parents. And the reason I would say my parents is as I've become older, I've begun to realise how much energy and effort they put into my childhood to make sure that I had a really good childhood. I work full time and I know how hard it is to be energetic and spend time with the family and with the children. Both of my parents were working full time, both of them had businesses. But my early childhood, I can remember going to parks, going to picnics, spending time with the family and just really having a good time. And then I reflect back and I think, how were they managing to do that as well as running businesses and working full time as well? So they really taught me the importance of my work ethic, but also the importance of investing time and energy into your family.
So that sounds like that they really prioritised that for you, and you've got those lovely memories as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did. And at that time I didn't maybe appreciate it, but now I definitely do appreciate it.
Thank you. So on the 8th of March, we held our first face-to-face Mellow conference since the pandemic. We had it in Edinburgh, and the conference was called Putting the Whole Family Approach into Practice. Can you tell us a little bit about why we chose that title?
I think that the title really summarised where we are at the moment as an organisation. We are, in a sense, a children's charity supporting children or looking for the best outcomes for children. But we realise that children don't live in isolation. And relationships are at the fundamental part of their development and well-being. Our strapline, in fact, is it's all about relationships. So if we really want to see the best outcome for our children, then we have to think about it in the context of the whole family. So if our parents are having difficulty, the parents are struggling with their own experiences, their own well-being, they won't have that ability or capacity to support their children. But also the parents themselves need to be treated as individuals as well. Just because you're a parent, it doesn't mean that's the end of all you are. You're also a person, you're also an individual. So it's important to support them in that capacity. And by doing so, we believe that, well, we know that when you support the whole family, you will see the better outcomes for the children. So we meet the end goal that we're looking for, but also we support family in that whole journey.
So the whole family approach is becoming more important to Mellow, and we're kind of putting a little bit more emphasis on it. What was your highlight from the conference?
My highlight? You got me there. My highlight was the end of it when I could stop and breathe, I think. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole conference. Every speaker that attended was really great. I would probably say the networking and the workshops part of it I really enjoyed because it gave me an opportunity to really speak to some of our practitioners that had, amazingly travelled from, various parts of Scotland to come and join us, which I thoroughly appreciated and enjoyed. So for me, the highlight was listening to their experiences of how they're using Mellow Parenting and their services to support the parents that they're working with.
Yeah, that face-to-face getting together was such an amazing time, wasn't it? Just being together.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering this was our first face-to-face conference in such a long time, it was just a lovely atmosphere. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So at the conference, we launched Mellow Growing Together, which is a package of 2 8-week programs. And we also shared the different ways that some of our Mellow programs can now be delivered. Can you tell us a little bit more, Rack, about this new delivery model?
Mellow Growing Together is our new parenting program for parents with children under the ages of 5. It's quite a flexible delivery model. It can be delivered as a group online. It can also be delivered as a group in the community. But also you have the opportunity to deliver it as a one-to-one as well. So it's kind of the first time Mellow Parenting entering the realm of doing one-to-one work with parents in their homes or within the centres that they're being supported.
And can you explain a little bit more how we got there, why this new model?
I think for me this has been the biggest change Mellow Parenting's made in its time, and so the last year has been very busy exploring and looking at this. Our programmes historically, and rightfully so, have been very targeted at parents who are considered to be at higher risk of poorer outcomes, or children at higher risk of poorer outcomes for various reasons. What we were finding were there were a lot of parents and children who wouldn't come under the bracket of that higher risk or vulnerable groups. They were missing out on the support. But we were hearing and we were seeing time and time again from services, but also from parents, that actually they would really benefit from our relationship-based support. Parents are needing a little bit of support with helping them build their relationship with their babies, but also generally their own well-being. Every parent, regardless of your environment and your circumstances, when you become a new parent, it's a stressful time. It's a very stressful time, and it can have an impact on our well-being. We can become quite isolated. So it's about ensuring that every parent is able to get that support and every child is able to get that support. Our vision is every child. So if we truly want to fulfill that vision, then we need to make sure that our support, our services do reach every child. So that was the main driver behind why we introduced Mellow Growing Together, is to make sure that we can reach every child, and parents who may have been missed are still able to get that support. And the other reason is we're living in a very, very difficult time, unfortunately. The cost of living, the financial challenges that services are experiencing, it can be very problematic to deliver quite a heavy, intensive intervention over a period of 14 weeks. And services were then unable to deliver this programme to parents who needed it. So what we've recognised is we've tried to give it a more flexible model. So although it's not as intensive as the full Going Mellow programme, but there is flexibility. So services can offer it as a one-to-one if they don't have the capacity to deliver group work, but they can also deliver it online. And because it's over 8 sessions, it won't require as many resources. So the idea is trying to work in line with what's needed by the community, what's needed by the services, and what's needed by the families that we're wanting to support. So really listening to them, and then adapting our practice and adapting our models to suit their needs, opposed to what we think is the right thing.
Yeah, thank you. And if our practitioners want to find out more about how to deliver one-to-one, what would you suggest they do?
I think the best thing I would suggest is just to get in touch with our team. We're always happy to support you and hear from you. We've got a wide range of programmes that are available one-to-one at Mellow Bumps, the Mellow Growing Together, but our Mellow for Young People as well. So these are the programmes that you have the ability to deliver one-to-one. If you have delivered previously in Mellow for Young People or Mellow Bumps, you would be able to deliver the one-to-one with additional support from us, and we're happy to support that with you. Or if you're not trained in Mellow and you're interested in the one-to-one or the Growing Together or any of our programmes, then the best thing to do is just contact us and we'll have a chat with you to see what suits best.
Thanks very much. And we're aware, aren't we, that it's a big change from going to group delivery to one-to-one delivery, and you're no longer got that power of the group, which we talk about in Mellow, and you're very much, yourself with the participants, and so therefore we're aware, aren't we, that we need to develop these additional resources and think about how it's going to work out in practice.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's for me is a big change, because we always talk about the group as the power of the engine for change, and the power of group is phenomenal. And time again, we've seen the benefits of that group and the group working. That element of social learning theory comes from there as well. That we learn, and the participants and the parents learn from one another more than they learn from us as the facilitators. So it was a big change for us. It was a big shift. Initially, I was hesitant towards it. But looking at the evidence, looking at the need, it's really important that we do look at this. But we have to make sure that the practitioners that are delivering it then have that training, have the resources, and they have the support from us to make sure that they are feeling confident and they're feeling supported to be able to do the one-to-one work as well.
And finally, really, we're aware that the third sector is experiencing a really challenging funding climate at the moment. And so many families are under pressure in many different ways. And I just wondered, what your hopes are for the future of Mellow.
As you pointed out, the third sector, as well as the public sectors, and generally the cost of living and the challenges that we're all experiencing at the moment are very difficult. And so I suppose my initial hope for Mellow would be that we continue to exist. We rely a lot on funding and support the services and the parents and the children and the families that we're here to serve. And I'm hoping that we can do that, mainly more strategically thinking forward. I'm aware that we will need to be thinking about diversifying our income stream and not relying solely on income from grants, but thinking about how can we facilitate the work that we're doing through other avenues as well. Yeah, so one of the things that we're thinking of doing is looking at exploring corporate partnerships and see if there's a business who's got an interest in early years in mental health and supporting parents and children. So we'll see if they were able to come on board and give us some support as well. So if you are a business owner and if you are interested in supporting a charity that's doing some incredible work in supporting parents and children, then definitely drop us a bell and we'll happily have a chat with you. We'll bring you in for a coffee.
Well, I think that's a good place to finish. So thank you very much for taking part in the Mellow Pod.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.